Boss fights have always been at the heart of From Software's Souls-born action RPGs, and Elden Ring Nightreign, the studio's experimental new co-op roguelike spin-off of the beloved 2022 title, is full to bursting with them. In fact, the game's entire gameplay loop involves running around and battling mini-bosses to get stronger with levels and randomized loot drops, then fighting major bosses from Elden Ring or past Dark Souls games before eventually challenging one of Nightraign's new Nightlords. Below, I did just that, breaking down what I liked about each Nightlord battle's mechanics and atmosphere, what I didn't and what I loved. Without further ado, here are my ranking for all 8 of Elden Ring Nightraign's Nightlord boss fights. Despite being in last place on my list, I don't necessarily dislike the Augur/Maris, Fathom of Night encounter. In fact, I find most of its melee range attacks where it attempts to corkscrew through the air at you fun to dodge. And the fact you can destroy the exploding jellyfish and teardrop-shaped nukes it drops on you with ranged weapons or magic adds some fun opportunities for counterplay that don't simply involve running away. The ultimate problem with Maris, however, is that it spends way too much time flying around, effectively making melee-focused classes like Wilder, Guardian, Raider, and Executor feel like they can never get a hit in as they endlessly chase the big cosmic slug around the arena. Indeed, without an eye or an eye or a recluse, this battle takes ages and ends up becoming pretty boring after the charm of the fight's visual spectacle wears off. Fight with Tricephalo/Gladius. Beast of Night is effectively Elden Ring Nightraign's tutorial Nightlord encounter, but that doesn't mean this Cerberus-inspired wolf is a pushover. It may be the easiest of the 8 overall, but can still take you down quickly if you get careless that Gladius moves are clearly telegraphed, with the boss using a combination of biting melee attacks with its heads up close and sweeping sword slashes with its chain sword from afar. It can mix things up with the occasional fire breath, too, and in Phase 2, Gladius periodically splits into 3 forms that encourage each member of your team to do one so no one player gets overwhelmed. One of Elden Ring Nightraign's more unique encounters is Sentient Pest/Noster, Wisdom of Night. In it, 2 huge bugs, a grounded scorpion and a flying moth, share an HP bar, with the former attempting to barrel into and smash you up close while the latter assails you with magic projectiles, clouds of poison, and the occasional grab attack attempt. Naturally, with melee fighters better suited to the scorpion and ranged ones ideal for the moth, players will usually split up to deal with each. Though getting poisoned by the moth will sprout a parasite on you that will continuously apply poison until a teammate hits it off, forcing the team back together and leading to complicated situations where you'll have to dodge both creatures' attacks. Undoubtedly, the Dark Drift Knight, also called Fulgur, champion of Nightglow, is one of the harder Nightlords to defeat, as this armored juggernaut of Centaur is very aggressive, hits like a truck, and is fully capable of running you over like 1, 2. In Phase 1, he tends to send waves of destructive wind at you with his lance, smash the ground to create area of effect quakes, charge players like a raging bull, and slam down his weapon to call up spears and geysers of holy energy from the earth. Fulgur's attacks are as varied as they are deadly, but they're also excellently telegraphed, and many of them can be avoided by jumping over them, rewarding players that do so an opportunity to counterattack with jump attacks. Players will be similarly rewarded by bringing along a weapon or spell that does lightning, as on top of taking more damage from it. Fulgur will also be stunned out of a spear-calling attack if you hit him with it while he's charging to move up. Standpoint, Adele, Baron of Night, the massive, vaguely draconic beast at the end of the Gaping Jaw expedition, is less varied than many other Nightlords, as it primarily attacks with combos, in which it tries to clamp its gargantuan maw around you. It can also grab you with its jaws, charge into you, and slam its head down to create a heavy area of effect shockwave. Phase 2 adds lightning aftershocks to many of these moves, but ultimately, Adele's moveset doesn't change too much. With that said, I still can't help but rank Adele above Fulgur, as a spectacle to fight with the beast pushes it ahead of the champion of Nightglow for me. Dodging its gigantic chomps and slams feels incredible, and in Phase 2, its grandiose use of vibrant purple lightning makes the encounter that much more epic. On top of that, I'd say Adele's moves are flawlessly telegraphed, while Fulgur's Phase 2 hand can seem a little unpredictable at times. Generally, From Software's Dragon Boss battles are either awesome or terrible, so I wasn't sure what to expect when I fought Caligo, Miasma of Night, for first time. Thankfully, the Fissure in the Fog encounter turned out to be quite an amazing one, and in my mind, Caligo is hands down one of the developer's best ever dragons. With a diverse assortment of Claw, Ice Breath, and Tail swipe attacks, along with special ones that challenge you to locate Caligo's position in a blanket of fog and either run away, Black Wind, or get close. The sound of ice cracking, you're rewarded with a big damage opportunity. With this one, if you can reach Caligo quickly, this ice dragon is one of the most engaging to fight in Soulsborne history. Some fun additional mechanical complexity comes from the ice crystals formed wherever Caligo breathes frost that build up frostbite when stepped on, driving you to pay attention as you move into position to get your hits in. final boss fights in From Software's games tend to also be some of the best, and that holds true in Elden Ring Nightreign. Indeed, Heals to the Nightlord is one of the co-op roguelikes' most exhilarating encounters. And in a game full of battles against huge monsters, I find it fitting that its final fight is one against a sword-wielding knight that's barely any bigger than you are. From start to finish, the bout with Healster is a beautiful dance, with the primordial Nightlord performing varied, tricky combos with both a magic greatsword and a smaller blade. He's very similar to Dark Souls' Grease Slave Nightgale or the Elden Ring DLC's Rolanda, Twin Moon Knight, in that his attack flurries are highly aggressive and feature a blend of quick and delayed strikes, but are also superbly animated with clear counterattack windows you can take advantage of if you're aggressive yourself. Healster's Phase 2 is also an amazing spectacle. When it starts, Healster will fly into the air and cut the sky itself open with a sword before imbuing it with a random element and crashing back down to Earth, creating a massive explosion that sends out exploding shockwaves shortly after. All of his attacks in the remainder of the fight will then create linear shockwaves of that element in the directions he slashes in, forcing you to carefully pay closer attention to positioning. All in all, it's simply a perfect fight, and one I've greatly enjoyed throwing myself at again and again with all of Nightreign's different character classes after beating it for the first time on Wilder. And yet, for me, it's still ultimately the runner-up boss too. As much as I love Healster and think he's a tremendous final boss, there's one Nightlord in Nightreign I enjoy battling even more: Libra, Creature of Night. Recently, I wrote about how he's the weirdest boss in the game, and I stand by that. Not only does it make a monkey's paw style deal with you before the fight even begins, but the crazy high madness buildup from his various magic attacks can be countered by picking up crystals those very same attacks spawn on the ground. Libra is also a very unique boss due to the importance of places on positioning, because he'll quickly turn the arena into a bullet hell of madness projectiles if you stay back and run away. It's better to instead stay close to him and try to bait him into using more punishable melee strikes instead. You can also goad him into an enraged melee frenzy by hitting him with madness magic yourself, or by destroying all nearby runes that appear when he tries to meditate for a defense buff. This series of wild swings and explosive slams is incredibly deadly, but bold players that patiently dodge these strikes will be rewarded with big windows for counterattacking.